Husband lashed out at me for refusing to grow our kids like me, while our family is reaching a critical situation cliff. This morning I told my husband that his mom's good friend passed away. He was upset both about the passing, but mostly with me for telling him on his way to work. He said, "Are you fucking retarded?" And told me that he didn't want his kids to turn out like me. We don't have any kids yet. He thinks I have no empathy. I told him this morning because my mother tends to wait until she thinks it's the right time to tell me about deaths and other uncomfortable things, and I think it's very controlling. Also, he's always told me that he wants to know things right away. But he was mad at me because now he's gonna be upset all day at work. Which I get, now, but I really felt like I was doing the right thing for him. We are good most of the time, but he's going through a really stressful patch right now. I've been trying to shoulder a lot of the stress, let him take it out on me, etc. I just feel so bad for ruining his day, and I honestly feel like sometimes I'm ruining his life. I don't know what to do. I don't want to get divorced, but I don't want him to feel like this. He says I'm bringing nothing to our relationship when I feel like I do so much for him. I am willing to answer any other questions to clear things up. I honestly don't know what I'm looking for by posting here. I just feel really lost. TL, doctor, husband doesn't want our kids to be like me. Someone asked Oop if it was common for her husband to talk to her that way, and they explained that this is emotional abuse. Oop replied, "I wouldn't say he speaks to me like this. He often says, 'What is wrong with you?' To which I really have no reply, and I don't know what he is trying to achieve by asking me that over and over. I told him I don't like it when he says that and there is nothing wrong with me, and he tells me not to act in a way that makes him say that." Another reply from Oop, "It's really not that bad most of the time though. Usually we have fun and he makes me smile and laugh every day and we love each other very much. It's just when he gets mad at me about stuff that things get a little heated. I really don't want to be with anyone else. I honestly don't see how anyone else would put up with my weirdness. I just want to try to get through this rough patch somehow." Another user, "It's a common tactic of abusers to make you feel like you're so broken that no one else would want you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're internalizing his warped view, and it's damaging to your self-image. Edit, can you try telling me a few recent incidents that have resulted in his asking what is wrong with you? Oop, like last night when I let my car run out of gas, or this morning with the whole telling him about his mom's friend dying." In other replies, Oop painted a picture of life with their husband. "See, I never used to be stressed. My doctor told me I had the blood pressure of a teenager and now I have borderline high blood pressure. Even when I was really busy with a class that I had like a month to finish, I asked if he could help out by making dinner and doing his own laundry. He said no, it was my fault for procrastinating, and he shouldn't have to sacrifice to make up for it. It seemed right at the time, but now I'm questioning. Also, he is now mad at me for the house being a wreck because I was so busy during that time I couldn't keep up. I feel really confused right now. He's gotten mad at me for talking shit like that before though. I don't want to be a bad wife. I think I'm a mess." Another user, question, "Can you give full context for the incident at the start of the thread? I'm curious to what was said before, during and after. I saw you apparently let him know with your mom's friend passed away." Oop replied, "He was taking me to work, because my car is out of gas. He had gotten over last night and we were talking about our cats or whatever. And then I said, 'Oh, your mom's friend Clara died.' And he said, 'Clara Miller?' And I said, 'Yeah, I think that's her last name. Like Clara and Mike? She was at our wedding?' And he said my Aunt Clara and started to cry a little and get emotional. That's when he got pissed at me for telling him on his way to work and said all the stuff I wrote in the intro. I apologized and told him that I thought he'd want to know right away and explained about my mom. I said I was thinking about how I would feel in your place, and that's when he said that I only think about myself and don't think about him and that he doesn't want his kids to be like me. He didn't say that bit about the kids in an angry way. More in a resigned and dejected way. Then he told me not to say anything else until I got out of the car, so I didn't say anything, not apologizing again, not goodbye or I love you. Thinking about it now, there is a very real possibility that he didn't even know she was sick. I talked to his mom more than he does, but I assumed she had told him about it. She got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and it spread quickly. They gave her 2 weeks on Tuesday, and she died that night. So if he didn't know, I could see how he would be very shocked, whereas the rest of us knew it was coming. I don't know, it's really just a mess and I feel so bad about it. We haven't moved away, but he does blame me for quitting his old job. He says he would have had a career there now and been making a lot more money, when in reality he had already been demoted and was miserable there. He blames me because I said we weren't spending enough time together. He was working nights. When we are with my family he always wants to leave early, or if I go by myself he pesters me and reminds me of stuff I have to do at home or with him until I leave. We had one car for several months, and even now with the gas thing, he told me he would bring me the gas can when he picked me up last night. Then he picked me up and we went to eat instead, and he said he would send me with the gas can in the morning and I could sort it out myself. So when we were leaving I asked about the gas can and he said we didn't have time, he would sort it out tonight. My name is on the bank account, but he has taken my debit card away and says that we are doing much better financially now because of it. I always check with him if it's okay before I go anywhere, but there's always a problem with it later. I could go on and on about that topic. But here's the thing. I love him so much and I don't want to leave him. Before I married him, I really thought a lot about unconditional love and what that means. And I played through some really fucked up scenarios in my head and confirmed that, yes, I would still love him if he did any of these things. I took my promise to him very seriously. And really, like I said, things are really good most of the time. Yes, I was talking to other guys because they made me feel good and valued what I had to say and thought my hobbies and interests were interesting. Maybe it was a mini midlife crisis. I don't know. But really at the end of the day I wanted my husband more than I wanted any of that. I still do. I love him and I love our life together. A few more comments from Oop for context. I just kind of let him unleash everything on me last night. I know he's upset about a lot of stuff. He can't yell at his dad's cancer, but he can yell at me, you know? I'm just trying to take it all in. I love him and I want to be there for him. He was definitely yelling at me, bringing up a lot of our past problems and stuff. Saying why can't I give him a break? When I know he's got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. My car ran out of gas at work yesterday, which is what initiated all of this. And he's right, I should have been more attentive to my own shit so he wouldn't have to come bail me out and put one more worry on his plate. I totally could have walked to the gas station. I just happened to be on the phone with him when I found out my car was out of gas. I kinda wanna walk to the gas station on my lunch break today, but I'm afraid he'll be mad that I didn't let him handle it. I'm actually pretty well adjusted and have a good job and a slew of friends. I am kind of a weirdo sometimes, but I'm not like a pariah. Update 1: It took me 3 more years, but I finally left him last year. This post helped me see how much was wrong in our relationship, but I was still so hesitant to leave. We had pets and a beautiful home together and I loved his family and we had so many inside jokes and plans for the future. But eventually it was all just too much for me to take any longer. The day after his parents' 50th anniversary party, I told him I wanted a divorce. I just couldn't see myself living like that for 50 years. I moved from the suburbs to the city with a friend. I rekindled some old friendships from high school and made a bunch of new friends who I am so thankful for. He kept the dog, I took the cats. I thought my life was ending, but it was just beginning. I told my, very religious, family and they were all understanding and supportive. I've maintained friendships with a good number of our mutual friends, friendships I was worried about losing. I'm working on my master's degree in volunteering and experiencing life and love and art and beauty like I never thought was possible. I met a guy at a friend's punk rock show and we hit it off, but we are taking things very slowly. He is wonderful and so kind to me. If you are in an abusive relationship, please don't be afraid to leave.